Premier Sports Fan Center. I need it anywhere. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to click that subscription button.
Welcome to Talk Sport, viewers and fans, ladies and gentlemen all over the world. This is the big talking sport for football, and Talk Sport from Premier Sports Fan Center is happening live on your screen, on your YouTube page, on your Facebook page right now. Your home for the biggest football stories, the boldest opinions, and the sharpest debates. I'm your host tonight, Yinka Adegbuyi. Friends call me the doc around here. And with me are football brains of the day. And I have to my left, immediate left here, I have Yemite. Yemite, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, Yemite. And immediately after Yemite, we have the erudite Poloski.
Yeah, good evening, viewers, and thanks for having me. So excited to be back here once again.
So we're so excited to be with you guys, and we are going to have such a wonderful, exciting time. Today's lineup is packed. We got Paulo in the house, we got Yemite in the house. So much tackling going on in the studio tonight. Expect it, and we want you to be part of it. Barcelona's crisis, Rodri's injury, blow for Man City, and then Gerrard's next move, the Premier League title race. And I tell you the truth, the Premier League race is getting hotter and hotter by the day. We saw how Liverpool lost that crucial encounter to Chelsea, and then Arsenal FC moving to the top. So the race, the drama, the VAR issues, and even African football on the incredible rise. Let's get started right away. Viewers and ladies and gentlemen, once more I want you to know that for this show, it is an interactive session. You can put your comments on our YouTube page, Premier Sports Fan Center. Premier Sports Fan Center on the YouTube page or the Facebook page. Just put in your comments there or call the number you see on your screen and be part of the show. So we're looking at Barcelona in crisis again. Right now, Barca Awal is sidelined and pressure is mounting on Xavi. Few stuck between youth and inconsistency. And you know Hansi Flick is under a lot of pressure as we speak. And fans are growing restless. So tonight we're going to be looking at a few talking points from Barca's crisis. And I'm going to start from Paulo here. And what really is wrong with the tactical position of Barcelona this season? Is it poor structure or is it poor mentality? What's going on there at the Camp Nou or Camp Montjuic, as it is called?
I think it's a combination of both, poor mentality from the players, because I look at the team now, you see, I think they are not really motivated, to play out there with the absence of the key player, talking about Lamine Yamal and Rafinha. You will see the way the team, it seems as if the other guys, they always feel, less pressured when those two guys are around, but once they are not there, it seems they easily give up. We saw how they played against the last match they lost against Sevilla. It was it was a thrashing. They were really whoop on that day. And I talked about if it's about the tactical aspect of it. I think it's also part of it. You look at the manager, because teams are beginning to find out the manager's tactics compared to last season, more especially the island they keep on playing, and teams are beginning to find a way to go around it and eat them on the break and get those goals. So I think it's a combination of both.
Thank you, Paulo. You heard it from Poloski. He said it might be a combination of both. Tactical issue, mentality issue. But we're not going to take it away from our intelligentsia here in football. Yemo, what do you think here? With Lamine Yamal injured and Lewandowski misfiring and Rafinha injured, who can step up for Barca?
Yeah, I think that's why they brought in Rashford. It got a goal, but it was unfortunate that they conceded 4. But when you look at what's happening in Barca, it's a transition period. When you have a successful season, the following season, many of the times your key players can be going in and out of the season. We saw Man City with Rodri and some other guys. So it is normal in football. is a wave of the moment, and if they can manage that wave very well, there's January coming in. Maybe they can bring in one out for out number 9 or something, because you can't rely on a striker that is on his old legs. I think 38 now, 37,
36.
36, and that's at 36. Jordi Alba is retiring, so he's not the kind of
Gerrard.
age. Jordi Alba is retiring
Yeah,
at
yeah, okay.
36. It's not the kind of age that you want to have your go-to man, and you have to bring in somebody to understand.
All right, so we'll tell that to Barcelona FC of Spain. Right now, the Catalonian lead club. And we'll go straight back to Paulo. Is it time for Hansi Flick to consider the option of stepping aside, or should Barca double down on his long-term vision? What do you think?
I don't think it's time for him to, step aside, because you look at the incredible job he has done with Barcelona since taking over from the previous man, Xavi Hernandez. He wanted the job and he got the job and he delivered. So I don't see any reason why the manager should be stepping aside, or the board as a whole be looking at looking at his future. I think if I'm the board, we even add more. More years to his contract, because he has done incredibly well with Barcelona, and like Yema said, they need to look for probably another number 9, because apart from Lewandowski, Ferran Torres, I don't think is a proper number 9 to me. So they need to look for a way to bring in top quality striker that can lead the line, and probably look at the defensive aspect of it also, because I think they need a real solid defender also. If they can get the manager those two teams, I think they are good to go.
Okay, so in 1 minute, Yemite, what do you think? Apart from the striker, do you agree Barca needs a defender?
Yeah, I think they need a defender.
Or should the defense tactics change?
No, I think they need one extra goal. You can use an experience like Martinez, and you pay for it, because it was practically a key factor defensively for Barcelona.
Both in the dressing room and on the field.
You can't lose that kind of figure. It was like when Chelsea lost their receiver. It was obvious that they lost something huge. So I think that's just the issue. Just bring in somebody to replace him and he'll be good to go. Maybe, just maybe, the Uruguayan guy, what's his name?
Araujo.
Araujo will step up.
Or Steve.
But we all know Araujo has been misfiring. He's not doing well. He keeps committing errors. I think Araujo will be shipped out.
When you go out injured for that long time, you can't just come back and get you there. Even Rodri is not at that level. It would take playing this whole season to get him back to that level.
All right, so we move on straight here from Barcelona's growing pains. Let's turn to another European giant dealing with their own setback. At the Old Trafford, the theater of dramas, and Man United and Man City operate from that environment. Now we're looking at Man City. Man City, we know, has been a top club for about 7-8 seasons in the EPL, and then suddenly Rodri's injury happened. City couldn't cope with Rodri's injury, and without their main engine. Manchester City's midfield heartbeat Rodri has been sidelined and is just recovering. Guardiola faces one of the biggest tactical tests. City's reading balance and defensive cover often revolve around Rodri's presence. And the issue here is just how vital is Rodri to Pep's entire system, even with the new guys coming in. And could this be the one player truly that can't find a replacement for? I think we should take it from you, Paulo.
Rodri is a very vital player for Manchester City, and I believe every player can be replaced. There's nobody that cannot be replaced, but it might take a very long time for you to find a perfect replacement for that particular player. But at the moment now, City are finding it very hard to find that player.
This is the second season running.
Yeah, during the January transfer window, they brought in, I think, Nico Gonzalez, but it's not working. Now they brought on Tijani Reinders also, but Tijani Reinders have been showing some flashes of brilliance. Yeah, but so far I don't think it's still the replacement. But Manchester City's Rodri's injury, he just came back from another injury, and now it's out injured for now. We don't towards the January transfer window or probably the summer transfer window to look for a perfect replacement for Rodri. But like I said earlier on, there's no player that's not replaceable.
Okay, so I'm going to take this to Yemite. He's going to take it from where you stopped, because I wanted to comment on that. Irreplaceability. Also add to this, should Guardiola adapt his tactics or trust other players like Kovacic or Rico Lewis and then Tijani Reinders that have just been brought in? Yeah, man.
Yeah, one of the things about marathon of football is but it is not practically about what you have in plan, it's about what reality faces you with. So
Okay.
whenever you are faced with something you cannot change, like Rodri's injury, you have to adapt. They have the guys, Gonzalez can come in, Rangers can be adjusted and also to suit whatever he wants to use. So I think that is a setup that Guardiola is one manager that is smart. You see now that Man City are now one team that when they score one, they want to defend. So
Right.
he's trying to adjust to the times and seasons. And that's the way to go.
Right, so that's the way to go. Adjust your tactics. You better just chip in or you're shipped out. And City doesn't want to be shipped out. And they've been doing well, preferably recently. They've not been doing so badly in recent times. Now, could this injury actually open the door for Arsenal or Liverpool in the title race? Because if City is not there to challenge the EPL leaders. No, what I mean is, we saw what happened last season. City wasn't there, so Liverpool had a good run and just won. Now, if City is not stepping up again, does it mean that we can as well just cede the Premiership to either Arsenal or Liverpool? Okay, let's take Paulo's opinion on that for a moment.
Well, I think starting from last season, both team, we're talking about Liverpool and Arsenal. They seized the opportunity. Immediately, Rodri, went out injured, and and City was misfiring throughout last season. And if you look at the beginning of this season, I don't think they really tipped City, to be up among the favorite to win the league. Though they are part of it, but they were not seeded, accordingly, 1, 2, 3, like situation pundits have been, going about it. But you look at how they've been playing this season. There are some games they've shown that we are still the City we used to be, but there are some games that they've been firing. But you look at Arsenal, Liverpool, probably Chelsea, Newcastle, Tottenham. They will be looking at this opportunity for us to fight for it, because even my own, to me personally, I don't think this City are ready, to challenge for this title.
Right, so we heard from our analyst tonight. The City doesn't look ready to challenge for the EPL. And so, speaking of managers under pressure and adaptation, let's move on to a familiar face who might be on the comeback trail. We know Steven Gerrard was a hero, a legend of Liverpool, and Steven Gerrard is in the news again. This is still Premier Sports Fan Center Talk Sport going on for this week. This is the first week in the month of October, and we want you to join us. We want you part of the show. We want you to put your words in the comment section. Be part of the show. Let's get your opinions and let's share as we ride on this journey. And we're looking here at Steven Gerrard's name being back in circulation, and his Saudi adventure. Rumors suggest a potential return to Rangers, while others believe he's eyeing another shot in the Premier League. So question here is, and I'm going to go from Yemite here, is a Rangers return the smart move to rebuild Steven Gerrard's reputation, or should Gerrard push for a mid-table EPL job?
I think the best bet is a mid-table EPL job. He has conquered Scotland. What if? Because I think that Rangers team is in a serious mess. So it will be a risk to go and take that kind of job with the reputation he left. So he might not have any reputation left if he goes to Rangers, because they are a team nosediving. So
Right.
I think that looking out for a middle Premier League team, then you can work and grow in the line, and at least that will be a better thing for a CV.
No, but before you leave that, how about his experience from Aston Villa and Saudi? He made a mess of it.
But his experience in Aston Villa was a mess. The same way Lampard's first experience at Chelsea was good, but the latter experience was a mess. The coaching job is not one-way traffic. There are two types of coaches: the ones that are sacked and the ones waiting to be sacked. So it's a risk that works with the job. So when the risk is there, you just have to work with the risk. Risk is a day thing that we move with, but for him to go to the next level in his career, it's better for him to look out for another mid-table Premier League team.
Right. So, but Paulo, can Gerrard actually reinvent himself, or is he still relying so much on motivation over method? Do you think he can actually come to life?
Reinvent himself. He has had a time. I mean, since he was fired from his last job in Saudi, there, I think he has a lot of time to have evaluate everything that has gone around between Aston Villa to Rangers to the Saudi club there, and try and see what happened, what went wrong, and try and look for a way and have probably new tactics, because we've seen some managers now talking about I'll use Mikel Arteta as an example. He took over the Arsenal job. That's his first real experience, and at the beginning it wasn't going well, but the club had to stick with him. Unlike Steven Gerrard, now he has gone around about 3 different and
they didn't give him enough time to develop.
You mean Gerrard?
Yeah, Aston Villa was just
after
the season.
The pressure was too much for him at Aston Villa. But at Rangers, you can't compare the Scottish League to the Premier League. The league, the quality is different, and the pressure you continue to face in the English Premier League is not there. For Rangers, if you can hold off Celtic, you are good to go. But unlike the English Premier League here, they don't take that. We've seen even this season, we've seen some some teams, they fired managers, talking about West Ham, Nottingham Forest, and there are some managers also probably might be let go before the year runs out. So for Steven Gerrard, I think whatever decision he takes now depends on him now. Going back to the Scottish League or coming to the English Premier League, either one, he has to get it right this time.
Now, but can we say Steven Gerrard doesn't have the potentials to be a good coach or a great coach?
I don't think so. He has the potential. He's there.
He has the potentials, and Yemi believes so too.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you very much, and guys, you can hear that. So our Steven Gerrard, the legend of Liverpool, legend of the England Three Lions, is still believed to grow and emerge as a world-class coach, given time and the right place to develop himself. So now let's widen the lens, because the question everyone is asking right now is, who is really in control of the Premier League title? This is a part where we're looking at your opinion on the Premier League title. Who's really in control? The race for the EPL title lies between Arsenal, Liverpool, City, and perhaps Chelsea. And this heavyweight, they have different styles of play. Arsenal's structure, City's experience, Liverpool's pressing, and of course, Chelsea's consistency in the midfield, and these are setting up fascinating title race. So let's look here. Who's looking most consistent right now, and which manager has shown the best positioned for this particular EPL after 7 or 8 games played? Let's take it from Yemite.
I think for the league, with the number of squad depth and all, I think Arsenal should be the favourite.
And I'm sure the Reds are smiling now where they are, like, wow, this is coming from Yemite right here.
Because the reality is, when you check the different role on the field of play, they have at least 2 players per role or more. So, and when you have depth, what it will do is a marathon of football fatigue will set in. Liverpool doesn't have that same depth. So, and Liverpool have Salah and Van Dijk older than they were last season. So,
Sure.
I think that will also be a minus on the Liverpool side. So, I think this season should be Arsenal's league to lose.
Whoa.
He-
This season should be Arsenal's league to lose. I want to hold it right there because Paulo is itching to say something about that. So, Paulo, really, which squad has the greatest and the best depth to handle this winter grind? Do you agree with Yemite on that? Or what's your opinion?
I agree with him, because you look at every other team's challenging for the league. To be honest, I think Arsenal have the squad depth, like you said, 2 or 3 or more players in each
You got
position.
Nkapi, you got Calafori, you
and players that
got
can invent,
Mike Lewis.
played multiple roles. We saw with what they did with Noni Madueke, before he went out, he was even playing from the left hand
Left.
side, whereas his preferred option was even
On the right.
from the right. So I think Mikel Arteta has the squad depth now to push for it. So it is now solely on the manager now to deliver.
Manager
Yeah.
to deliver, not the players.
It's the manager.
It's the manager that will charge of the players.
All right, so you guys heard is here. Could a dark horse like Tottenham or Newcastle sneak into the conversation as we go on? Is it possible?
It's possible, but how realistic is it?
Yes. Is it possible?
They've mostly been nearly FC. The season they would have won was the one Leicester took Tottenham Hotspur. So I think that for me, they don't really stand the chance. Probably highest is to get into Champions League.
Wow. So you got that. So if you have hopes on putting money or bets on Tottenham, you should rethink it. Yemite here is an ardent follower of the EPL and an erudite analyst of football. And he thinks Tottenham and Newcastle might not be able. They nearly. So we move on straight from that subject, and then we look at the next agenda here. And speaking of the future, let's talk about one of the brightest teenage stars in football right now. Your guess is as good as mine. Lamine Yamal. This is where you roll the drums. And what are we looking at here? Is it the next Messi? Is he an overhyped prodigy? At just 17, Yamal's dazzling performances have drawn global attention. But with injuries and expectation piling up, questions are emerging about the pressure on such young shoulders right now. So the question first we ask from the studio here is Yamal hype justified, or are we setting him up for a burnout? Paulo, what do you think? Because the guy is got injured and is getting re-injured again from the return of the injury.
Yeah, it's part of football, getting injured and coming back. But you now getting injured and come back and not be able to pick up from where you stop. That's the issue. But we saw with Lamine Yamal, when he picked up injury this season and he came back. I could remember, I think he got assist or he got a goal in the game when he came back there. And for Lamine Yamal, the hype is there. And he has shown that he can handle the hype, also. And he's done incredibly well for himself, winning the league with Barcelona, with his country, also with the Spanish national team, helping them to achieve great things. So I think the hype is there. I mean, the quality is there. The hype is there also. And the player knows that and he feels that also. And to me, is delivering also.
Right. So, but Yemite, I want you to consider this really. What's the what are the specific specialty and tactics and the mentality driving this young guy?
I think football is more or less instinctive than your hard work. You have to have it inside of you. Many of the times, from my own experience, it's just mainly you just do it. Even you sometimes you can't explain how it comes. It's just something that it suits you. So when you now hard work, it takes you to the highest level. So I think that it's just a born footballer. So it's something that it does without stress. Like it does it.
Like he's talented for it.
Yeah, it does it with comfortably without stress.
Right. So Paulo, before we leave that segment, can you mention a few other teenage players following his footsteps, or who are challenging, or who will be challenges to him in Europe? You know, he's won the Copa twice in a row now, and that's the first person to do that.
Yeah.
So who others? Who are the others in that band?
At the moment, I still can't look past him, but there's the guy from Paris Saint-Germain talking about
Desire,
Dre. But Dre also broke out last season. It was relatively unknown before last season, but this season also he has been battling injury. Also, let's just see if he comes back, if he can be able to pick up from where he left from last season. If he can do that, I think he's definitely going to challenge for the trophy. But at the moment, to be honest, I still think Lamine Yamal will definitely win that again.
Right, so while young players are shining, technology continues to divide opinions in football, especially VAR, the video assistant referee here. So VAR controversies is the next topic we're looking at here at the Premier Sports Fan Center Talk Sport for this week, October 2025, first week at that. So we're looking at the issues with VAR and the controversy surrounding it. Week after week, VAR dominates the headlines, from questionable offside rules and delays that drain emotions from the game. Is it the fixing of football, or is it fragmenting football? Should referees be held more accountable? And then for VAR errors right now?
Of course, if there's error like that, we are humans. You have to look at it from a political point of view. And at the same time, if there is no punishment for mistakes, the mistakes will keep reoccurring because people are not going down for it. So
Right.
I think there should be punishment, and hard ones at that.
Yeah, I understand, Paulo. I understand that some referees were actually suspended because of their roles in some games, especially recently in the EPL and the Champions League. So is the technology flawed, or is it the referees sitting behind the screen?
I think it's the referees. They are the ones that make the final decision. It's not the technology. The technology is just there to assist to them. That is why it's called the VAR, the video assistant. So I think it's still the referee that will decide if this is A or B. So the referees are the major are the major player when it comes to refereeing. So the referee should take all responsibility, and that is why they even added the VAR, and they have people behind it monitoring it. They call the referee. At times, the referee might have taken the right decision, but the guys behind the monitor, they call him back again. And once the referee is being called and come and review your decision, that is going to overturn it. At the end of the day, it generates it creates confusion. The other team is happy about the final decision. The other team is not happy, and after the match, you hear the PGMO saying, we are sorry that this and that. So it doesn't. But I think the referee still has the whistle with it. So every blame should still go to the referee.
Now, before we close this segment on referees, would fans rather accept human mistakes and say, let's do without this VAR technology, confusion, inconsistency, and controversies, and just return back to the manual referee on the field? Or are we still going to run VAR? Yeah, man.
When you sample opinions, nothing is perfect. Only God is perfect. But you have to look at the ratio. Has VAR done more good than bad? That's where you look at it. Has VAR saved a lot of blushes or not? So that's where the perspective you look at it from. It is not VAR that is the error. It is human error. The humans operating the VAR. So upgrade the performance level of the humans to 100% and VAR will be 100%. So it's not VAR, it's the people operating the VAR. So VAR has done a good job so far.
Right, so I believe VR has done a good job. Paulo, what do you think? VR better than humans alone?
VR is, to me, it's okay.
So we agree VR stays.
Yeah, it stays.
Right, so we from this end believe the VR should stay in spite of its inconsistencies and errors and controversies. I think they still do better, some more good, some more errors have been unraveled, especially against what used to be when goals cross the line and people don't know, or when people really don't deserve penalty kicks and they were given in the olden days before VAR came on. So let's cool down from VAR with some of this transfer talk. Who deserves a big January window? Top 5 players who deserve big January window transfers are in the discussion right now. The window is approaching and several players have outgrown their current clubs. Some are hidden gems, just sitting and warming the benches. Others are stars in the waiting, looking for opportunities to show. So let's take it from you. Paulo here. Which players do you think deserve a move to bigger stage in winter? Just mention 5 of them and tell us why.
Huh? Wow.
Let's look around Europe and
what I would just say is, in the world of football, you don't project for winter transfer. You project for summer. No middle team mostly, except for contractual being tight-fisted. They don't want to lose their key player in January. It's a winter transfer window and it's not visible.
So but there are some players that are unhappy about their position.
Yeah,
so can we just mention some of them?
Either they are happy or not, you have to just stick to where you are.
Yes, we're saying, can we think of any of these players?
No, there are a lot you can talk about. There are Semenyo, there are goalkeepers like the goalkeeper for Aston Villa, Martinez. There are guys like that are long overdue. But the thing is, this would have come in mouth-watering for a summer transfer window.
Okay, Paulo, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I actually have a player in mind. It's not about moving to a bigger club now. It's about leaving to save his career. And it's the player from Brazil, the guy at Real Madrid, Hendrik. Because I think he needs to leave Real Madrid. Probably try, going out on loan or probably move permanently, because I think Real Madrid is bigger than,
but Hendrik has not outgrown Madrid. So that's what the question is.
Well, I don't think there are players that can.
No, the question is not about the player outgrowing the club. It is about the player outgrowing his position, where he's sitting down. Where either he's sitting down or where he's playing.
Hendrik fits the bill.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. And if you ask me, Araujo at Barcelona too should be looking at a club. You can't be making that guy a third fiddle when he believes he can be playing. He should be looking at a club.
But he just renewed this contract.
Yeah. For Araujo is you can't compare Araujo to Hendrik. Hendrik is still very, very young, and he needs to prove himself at the world stage, because looking at it now, he's not getting call-ups to the national team anymore because he's not playing. So he needs to move, because the hype around him has really, really died down.
How about Eni Martinez?
Eni Martinez, maybe also. Probably the Giant transfer window, they could move to try another club and see if they can, get themselves back. We saw that with Antonio last season, when he left Manchester United.
And then what he was in Betis. And then he just blew up and started contesting for GOAT. And they called him GOAT all all over Europe. Everybody called him GOAT. Oh my God! Right, so guys, so there are quite a number of players in that pool. Actually looking at such opportunity to get out. So which club should be the first to make a move? Arsenal, Liverpool, maybe PSG. All of them should be looking at the transfer window as well, looking for who to put. Like Barca, just like you recommended, Barca should be looking at picking up somebody for that defense position. And
to cash in on him and make profit.
Definitely,
so
they want
it will
to,
be expanding
yeah.
over 100 million. Now, and a player coming for over 100 million will not be on a small wage. So let's realistically check it. It's like Barca trying to.
No, but Barca is weighing up options of picking up Alvarez to replace Lewandowski in the coming season. And you know how this works. They always have a way to arrange some of these things. They can work on the finances. We've seen Griezmann go that way. We've seen Coutinho. We've seen Neymar for several years.
Griezmann,
they didn't
those
pay.
ones did not come when the
No, but they didn't pay in full for any of these players.
No, they don't pay. No club. No, I've not. It's only the Saudis I see paying full. Even without paying in full, they couldn't get Nico Williams.
No. For Nico Williams, it wasn't 60 million that was the issue. Barca is saying that the player refused to come because the player was ill-advised about his registration. So the player backed down from that transaction, and Barca did not even place that bid.
No, the player was asking for proof, like let it be in the contract spelled out that if you cannot register me so and so, and you can't blame a guy for wanting a black and white agreement. We've seen players run into issues with club. You saw Hurricane, we had a gentleman agreement. We had a gentleman agreement. Yeah. Even this guy, Ademola Lookman, we had a gentleman agreement. So you don't expect a youngster at the beginning of his career to rely on just mere words of Barcelona and not proper written agreement and signed.
No, but that's not what happened. That's not why the transfer fell through. The transfer fell through because, according to sources around Nico, his family didn't approve that transaction. The assurances he wanted were provided. It wasn't an issue. Every player that came into Barca rank were all registered. It wasn't an issue.
I think there's more to that.
It was
they
more.
Had to. That was why they had to let Martinez go, to let in the remaining guys.
Martinez, let me just bring this to light. Martinez got that contract as a matter of urgency. It was an emergency opening for him. Somebody spoke for him out there, and within 1 week that was completed.
Do you know that they had to make Ter Stegen submit a letter to La Liga for a player to also be registered? It was a
no. Let's get this right, because I like to put facts out there. Ter Stegen was injured and was going for a surgery. His surgery was going to sideline him for up to 6 months or more than that. He wasn't going to play. Barca had already procured Joan Garcia from the neighboring Espanyol, and that was their future goalkeeper. Ter Stegen was not in the plan of Hansi Flick because they retained Chesney as a backup. Ter Stegen as a captain could not be the backup. So Ter Stegen was not in the plan, and his injury was recurring over and over. They had to put in a surgery, and the surgery was going to sideline him for at least 6 to 8 months. So why won't he sign that the surgery will take him out for 6 to 8 months?
If Barcelona was in an LD place, will they need him to sign?
Yes, they will need him to sign because he was the captain of the side. And he was occupying a position where they could not register another player based on the one fair play and new rules that only exist in Spain. They don't exist in any other place. It wasn't like the money to pay salary was. You can't have this wage of this player and those players at the same time. You cannot have those wages. That was the issue. So Ter Stegen's wages had to be dropped by at least 70% to accommodate other wages. And if he's not going to play for the next 6 months, why put him on a high wage and blocking the space? So that's what happened with Ter Stegen. This is not trying to defend a situation, but that's the fact that happened. And for Nico Williams, it was a family thing, and the family did not just agree. They decided that Bilbao was their family place. His brother was there. Everybody was born in Bilbao. He should just stay with them. And last minute, he just went out of the deal. So it wasn't like they couldn't pay. They will arrange and pay. They've been paying. How did they get Lewandowski and the rest of them? How did they get Rafinha? When they let Messi go because they didn't have money, they bought 6 new players that same season. But it was an arrangement. You just make an arrangement. So let's move on very quickly so we don't stay here forever, gentlemen. That was very interesting talking about those gentlemen. And then we'll move on to the next big thing here. And we're looking at the January window approaching, and we have just dealt with that. Where every fan has that one player they feel doesn't get enough credit. It's time to celebrate unsung heroes. So from your own team in Arsenal, what really defines an underrated players, and who is your unsung hero in Arsenal? Just mention 1 or 2 of them.
At the moment, I think it's Juran Timber. To be honest, he's still not getting the praise he deserves, because looking at Juran Timber, he's a player. When he joined Arsenal after 4, maybe first, I didn't think he played up to 15 minutes in the first game, and he picked up a serious injury ACL, and he was through that for almost the end. In fact, he came back. He only played maybe another 10 minutes. That was the last day of the season. And after that, the following season, he was there, and you could see the way he has been playing up to this present moment. Now, it's one of those players that you cannot, easily, bullied or dribble past so easily. To me, I think he's not getting the praise he deserves.
Right. So, Yemite, who do you think will be your unsung hero in the whole of Premiership or La Liga right now? Just one from Premiership, one from La Liga.
So, if I look at it, I think I'll have to tilt towards Marco Carella. Marco Carella for Chelsea. You hardly see him commit mistakes. He does his job, does it very well. Week in, week out. You hardly have a complaint. Even when Chelsea...
Even assists.
Yes,
quite a number.
So, I think Marco Carella. And in La Liga, I have to tilt towards... this Real Madrid player for me last season, Jude Bellingham. Though Madrid did not win, but whenever he's not in that squad, there is a huge vacuum that somebody is not around. It does playing, it does marking, it does scoring, it does assist. It's all around that. It does mark. You can't say Jude Bellingham doesn't do this.
No, but Jude Bellingham is not an underling in the
I'm talking about
La Liga structure.
You know that it was celebrated 2 seasons ago. It was really celebrated. It was given La Liga player of the season.
Right.
But last season, because Madrid did not really win anything, his performance was swept under the carpet. See, we are talking about last season stroke this season. But if I'm to go to another
level, Bellingham still made top 15
if I'm to go
Ballon
to another level, I have to talk about Martinez that left Barcelona.
Inigo Martinez.
Yes, he was under celebrated, but it was until he left that the fans now saw the vacuum.
Wow, thank you very much for that. And I'm going to go with your choice on that, or your choices as we go. I want fans to comment. So who's your most underrated or under-celebrated player in the EPL or in the Bundesliga or in the Eredivisie, perhaps the Ligue 1 or Spanish La Liga? Put it in our comment section. Top 5 leagues in Europe. Finally, let's wrap up with a global perspective. African football is on the rise and continues to impress the whole world. African football rising. Morocco, Nigeria, and the new era here. African football is making global headlines once again. Morocco's youth team have beaten European powerhouses. Nigeria's senior squad continues to produce stars and academics across the continent are thriving. So, what do Morocco's under-20 wins over Spain and Brazil say about African progress? Paulo, give us a little light on this.
You look at the under-20, the junior teams, starting from the under-17, under-20, under-21. When it comes to Africa, I don't think we always have issue beating the European, junior team. Also,
Brazil.
Where you have issue is when we meet the senior teams. When it's the main national team. So I'm not surprised that.
But Brazil has not been an easy team for under-20 to beat.
Yeah, but it has not been an easy thing. But you look at African football these days, it's really improving, and there's competition all over the place there. And you saw, like you said, Morocco. Morocco, the junior ones are looking at the senior ones. Look at the way the senior, because if you the Morocco national team now, I think every player that wants to play for Morocco, every Moroccan that wants to play, we know that definitely I have to be at my best for me to be able to
absolutely
enter the national team now.
Absolutely.
When you look at the likes of Hakimi, and you're a young right back also that wants to enter the team, you definitely want to give everything. And we saw that with the under-20, they're giving out their best, defeating the likes of
Spain,
Brazil,
and all over the world.
It's not surprising to me, the under-20 beating those teams. So where we have issue is the national team, and I think
but the Moroccan national team didn't do badly at the last World Cup.
The gap are beginning to we are beginning to close the gap little by little.
Right, little by little, because if I recall well, Morocco national team actually was in the semi-finals of the last World Cup. They nearly got into the final. And they played third place. So they played the third place and lost. So African nations finally getting the respect and investment they deserve in football right now through these young ones.
No. They are far from it. The respect is not there. If they want any respect, they better start winning the World Cup. Because that's
you mean the proper World Cup or the junior World Cup?
I'm not talking
proper
about
World Cup.
The proper World Cup.
Okay. I thought he was saying about. Yeah.
Why FIFA created the Junior World Cup is to breed talent.
Yeah.
They don't really recognize winning it. So the main World Cup is the main thing. So when they start winning the World Cup, now they start getting attention.
Right. So which nation to you in Africa looks the most potent to first of all finish in the final of the World Cup or win it? Morocco, Nigeria, Senegal, Egypt?
I think it's still Morocco, and they still have the structure, the group of those players, and that went to the last World Cup. And you look at it after the World Cup, how the team have been, going, playing, how they've been feeling, and you could see they still there, the hunger. Looking at that group stage, the group stages of the World Cup
qualifiers,
they were just blowing teams, so easily. And even when they play, international friendly against the teams from the South America, they were still, out there winning. So I still think it's Morocco.
Right, so it is looking more like Morocco over Senegal, over Nigeria, and over the Egyptians, the Pharaohs, and that wraps up another thrilling hour of Talk Sports from Barca struggles to Vaqueros and Africa's football rise. It's been a passionate debate tonight, and we don't want to go really, but we know you have to go. And big thanks to our pundits. Yemite, thank you very much for coming to the show. And Paulo, we appreciate you for coming to the show tonight.
Yeah.
And of course, our amazing viewers, drop your thoughts in the comment section. And who's your pick for the Premier League title? Should VAR be scrapped? And which player deserves that big transfer window in January? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And even join our page. Click on that bell button. Click. Just click on it, and then you'll subscribe, and you'll get our weekly football talk. You'll get our notices, and see you the next time. My name again is Yinka Adegbuyi. Friends here call me the dog, and this is Talk Sport, Premier Sports Fans, and saying good night for now. Have a wonderful football life.
Super Eagle. This is Premier Sports Center. Enable anywhere, take anywhere. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to click that subscription button.